everyone, it's Jan from Melbourne Foodforest. I want to take you on a quick tour of how our tomatoes are doing. This is our sweetie tomato. It's already hit the roof of the greenhouse and summer has just begun. This was the plant that produced our earliest ripened tomato. We've been eating these since November, which is just awesome. This was an overwintered plant, one which I planted in autumn last year as an experiment to see how it would go. It was definitely a struggle in winter and it got lots of diseases, but managed to keep a few of them alive, and this is by far our biggest and most advanced plant. You can see it's got so many trusses of fruit. 1, 2, 3, one's up there, 4, 5, some down here, 6, 7, and all the ones we've been eating along the stem. Some of the leaves seem to be getting a bit of disease as it goes, so I have been picking it off to improve airflow. I suspect it's a mix of whitefly and possibly tomato russet mites, but I'm not too certain yet, so I've been observing and seeing if things will sort themselves out through an integrated pest management style. If not, then I will need to take remedial action and figure out what the pest is and find the right organic spray. But this variety produces cherry-sized tomatoes in gorgeous long trusses. This is a must grow variety for us every year because it's also cold tolerant, which is why I tried to keep it alive over winter. I wouldn't do that with one of the beefsteak varieties. And this is always our earliest and latest producing variety. So you can see how big that is. That's about 2.5 meters tall already. And summer has only just begun, so we're going to have to train it across the roof of our greenhouse to give it more space because it is butting up against the pane of polycarbonate already. I'm growing 2 variegated varieties of tomato this season. This one on the right is called Painted Lady, and oh my gosh, look at that leaf. For anyone that loves indoor plants and appreciates a bit of variegation, who knew tomatoes could be so beautiful? The leaves on this just drive me crazy and I can't stop looking at them. They're each a work of art, and it throws out white leaves with a green sort of painterly effect. It really does look like someone has gone around and splashed white paint on this because of just how random the colours are. And the 2 variegated plants have pride of place in the greenhouse, of course, because I'm just so excited about them and I want to make sure that they do really well. And this Painted Lady has just started flowering. Oh my gosh, everywhere you look there's little works of art. And I've let this one form a lot of heads because I want to get an abundance of fruit off it, and each stalk is separately staked. And moving along to this one. Now this is a slightly different variegated variety. It's called Splash of Cream, and they look similar but they're a little different in their variegation. This one tends to throw out pure white leaves with just a little bit of green on them. Super pretty. This one is a little bit, the white on it is more cream, hence its name, Splash of Cream. Whereas this one over here, don't know if you can tell, yeah, you can see, this one's white, while this one throws out cream green leaves. And it's put out so many pure snow white leaves. And unlike with indoor plants, they kind of last as well. If you've grown indoor plants before, you'll find that the white leaves usually wither and die. But on this, they seem fine. Even though they can't photosynthesize much at all. I mean, like, check out this one. This is snow white. It's like a tiny spot of green for photosynthesis. But that leaf's been around since the plant was a baby. Oh, I've got a little hoverfly. Can you see that there? One of these beneficial insects. Helping us take care of the pests. Now this one has fruit on it already. And the fruit is also striped and variegated on the top. And I just can't wait until they ripen. They look amazing. And more flowers up here. And beautiful variegated leaves. By far the most productive of all my tomatoes so far is this Costoluto. This Italian heirloom, which forms these absolutely crazily ribbed tomatoes. And what you see going on here, this really funny, odd looking thing, that's called a fasciation. And that's when the flower's forming, whether due to temperature or the conditions, it's actually fused together two flowers. So you've almost got these Siamese twin tomatoes, and it tends to form what we call a mega bloom, which produces the largest tomatoes you've ever seen. Like this one is going to be a monster sized tomato. Not the prettiest, but I'm sure it's going to be delicious and huge. And the ridges on this, that is just incredible. And they're already quite huge. And you can tell how early producing and how prolific a variety is by how low down on the stem it first produces a bunch of tomatoes. And this one is almost at just above ground. So this has the earliest bunch, and it's got the second bunch already up here on its way, as well as a crazy number of flowers. So I'm guessing this is going to be one of our most productive varieties this year. And I'll have a separate video on pruning and training tomatoes, but I'll just mention here, you can see this tomato we've trained along two stems to be a two-stem tomato, but it's also formed another stem, so we'll also stake that. But I will go into all of this in much more detail in a specific video, so make sure you subscribe to get alerted to that. Now moving on this way, we've got, let me check what this one is, I've forgotten. Oh, a Kellogg's breakfast tomato. I just love the name on that. It's got roots in the US, as you can tell, an American variety. It's a big yellow beefy tomato. It's humongous, and I can't wait. I saw some baby fruit. Let me see if I can hunt it down. So there's lots and lots of flowers here, as you can tell. There we go. There's the baby fruit. Let's zoom in on it for you. There we go. So cute. Can't wait to see that turn into the beefsteak that it's meant to be. And this plant has gone huge. Not a whole lot of fruit yet, so I would consider this more of a late producing variety. Loads of flowers. Loads. And so tall, even though it was one of my later planted ones. Moving to the right over here, we've got a Goldman's American Italian, another American Italian heritage tomato. Now this one has also gotten really tall and has only just started forming fruit. It's got heaps of flowers. So again, a late season variety. It's a big ridged beefsteak, but in more of a pear shape. Over here we've got a classic purple Cherokee. This is one of my husband's favourite varieties because of its really rich, intense flavour from its purple colour. It's a beefsteak variety which is red and gets this deep purple colour on top, depending on how much sun you can give it. The more sun, the more colour in your tomatoes. It's already started to produce lots and lots of fruit. And there's one down here, but I noticed there was a caterpillar on it the other day, which has had a nibble. I still leave these on though, because the fruit will heal over once you get rid of the caterpillar, so you've got to make sure you get rid of it, otherwise it's going to burrow and ruin the whole tomato. So fortunately this one had only bitten through the surface, so we might still get something out of that, we'll see. I caught the culprit red-handed and threw it straight to the chooks. And these ones, last year I wasn't in this spot, I wasn't growing tomatoes because we have a shelf up here, and I was thinking I was going to grow seedlings, but it gets too hot in the greenhouse for seedlings in summer. So this year I'm actually using this rack as a tomato growing frame. So they're climbing through here, through the ridges, and this actually helps hold them up and give them structure, so I don't even have to train them. How awesome is that? I'll still give them some support as they get taller because tomatoes really can snap. And so this purple Cherokee is so tall already, it's starting to come up through there. And this variety right next to it, let me find its label. Pineapple. This is a stunning yellow, almost white, pineapple coloured variety, big beefsteak as well. These are all the ones in the greenhouse other than purple Cherokee are new to us, so I'm really excited to see how they go. This one is late producing because you can see the first bunch of flowers doesn't start until like above waist height for me. So you can see all stem. Oh, there is a little bunch here, but they haven't really done anything. So these beefsteak varieties tend to be quite late producing. And moving on to here, we've got an Oxheart tomato. Whoops, just knocked something over. Oxheart, which is this beautiful beefy heart-shaped tomato, and it's really productive later in the season. Lots of flowers here on the way, but yeah, not doing as much early on because they take a while to get established. Now let's step over to the side and check out the ones on this side. This one is a pineapple pig tomato. This is a fun variety. It's a yellow medium beefsteak with green stripes. I just wonder where the name came from. It's such a funny name, pineapple pig. So it's a bit pineapple-y, but not sure where the pig comes from. Got little fruit on it already. And this side was planted much later than the other side, so all of the plants are a little bit smaller. But this is the side that the sun's on. Hence I plant these later so that they don't shade out the other side too much. I actually want these to be smaller. And this one you can see on the labels that I've made. Big Rainbow. Another new to us variety, but this is a beautiful red with orange streaks hence the name Rainbow. It's big and beefy, so I am ready for it. It's got lots of flowers, just waiting for some fruit. And this one over here, the label did fall off at some point, but I'm pretty sure it's a striped Roma. And I've got about 4 of these in the garden this year because a friend gave them to me and she said they were her most prolific variety, and I can see why, because all of mine are already studded with fruit, and the earlier planted ones have massive fruit on them already outside. I'll show you in a sec. But this one has these smaller kind of fern-like leaves, so all tomatoes have different leaf shapes, and you can tell from the leaf what variety it is. This one has very delicate, kind of skinny looking leaves, and you can contrast it. Let me take you over here to like this Costoluto, which has massive potato like leaves. As promised, here's a look at one of our other striped Romas. Gosh, it's so huge and so pretty already, that creamy green stripes. I can't wait to see it change colour. And really productive. While we're at it, I'll quickly show you how the tomatoes outside are doing. This is Brad's Atomic Grape. It's got huge fruit on it already. So pretty. They're streaked and they've got a purple blush on them already. Really excited about those. Now this is a different type of Roma. This is called a black zebra Roma. Got really cute grape-like fruit at the moment. Can't wait for the black zebra stripes to form. And these ones outside are all in cages. Oh, this is indigo pear. I love a good pear-shaped tomato. And this is one that is purple or indigo coloured. I love that. And moving over here, oh, so pretty. This is Dark Galaxy. You can already see the amazing colours on that. So pretty. You can see why they call it Dark Galaxy. It's like deep and mysterious. Can't wait till that colours up. And then coming over to here. Okay, I'm going to pronounce this all wrong because this is a fancy sounding French tomato. It's called, I'll do my best, Sart Roloise. Really pretty orange leafy tomato with a purple top, and it's got heaps of fruit on it, so cannot wait. And this one is another Costoluto. It's got a bit less fruit on it than the one in the greenhouse because it's been really cold outside, so the one in the greenhouse has done so much better. Moving on to this one. Oh, this one. This is the one that a friend gave me. So I love these unknown, unnamed varieties. So it was given to me as Big Pear. And I'm so intrigued what it's going to end up being. They do look kind of like pears, don't they? And they're huge. They're way bigger than the standard cherry pear varieties I grow. So I'm curious as to how big this pear is really going to be. So watch this space and wait and see. I'll show you. Moving along here, oh, this one doesn't have any fruit on it yet. It's one of the strange varieties I'm growing. It's called Tomato 8-Ball. It's named after the fact that it forms in trusses of 8 black coloured tomatoes that look a lot like your 8-ball from a pool. And it has a, you can tell by the stem, it's going to have pigment. It's quite a purpley stem. Lots of flowers and very late planted. No fruit just as yet. Now this is a bush variety of tomato that we just grow year after year now. Look at it. You can see why. It's called Rouge de Marmande. Now the French one forms so much fruit and it's very cold tolerant, so it starts producing quite early. And a bush variety means it won't get out of control. It's a short one that naturally self-prunes, and I'm going to have a video and an article about the difference between indeterminate and determinate varieties, so the crazy ones and the bush ones. But this one is very easy to manage, which is why I've planted it in between my pumpkins, so that it doesn't shade out the plants behind it too much. So productive though, crazily so. I'll show you that again. And lots of flowers on such a small plant. This is our Barry's crazy cherry, and every year it goes crazy and lives up to its name. Massive trusses of sometimes over 50 tomatoes that are white, yellow teardrop shaped. And you can see that's one truss. That's a crazy number of tomatoes. So that's already started to form fruit. Other than the sweetie, that's probably got the most fruit on it. Can win that prize, even though they're not the biggest, because it's a cherry variety. This is another dark galaxy. And oh my gosh, so dark, and it's got those streaks on it, just like the night sky. Really beautiful. And moving over here, our ever reliable, let me see if I can actually show you it, ever reliable Tigerella. Such a great early producing tomato, and really beautiful too, with that truss. Very prolific and just so stunning. It's a good cold tolerant variety. And this is a yellow Tigerella, so stripes, tiger stripes, but it turns yellow with white tiger stripes. So cool. Again, an early producing variety. And here we've got our tomato, really productive variety, and there you go, lots of fruit on it already, and really sweet, great taste. And here we've got a Wapsi Pinicon peach. This has to be the tomato that with the funkiest name. You can see how it's a little bit fuzzy. You feel on the skin. It's almost velvety, and that helps, is said to help deter fruit fly. But we plant it year after year because it is so delicious tasting. I think the name peach is pretty apt. Very sweet, and a yellow orange variety. Some flowers up here. These are our standard pear tomatoes, our red pears. This is such a productive variety, and they're so cute, little mini pears. Gosh. Yes, I do gush over my tomatoes like babies. Gosh, look at this one. Teensy wincy baby pear. thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed walking through the garden with me and admiring tomatoes. I know I spend a little too much time doing that. I won't have time this week to show you this wall of tomatoes. So in winter this is a wall of peas, and in summer it becomes a wall of tomatoes. But I'll do that next week. Show you what varieties we've got here and what's going on with them. So I'll show you a little pumpkin. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, as that helps to support us make more content. And it also means you're the first to hear when a new video is released, so hit that notifications bell. Until next week.